Hello, Chlorophyll's the name, Sims is the game. Let's get to it. So, I have built a mansion in Del Sol Valley, and for this mansion I wanted to play a little bit with terrain tools because I never play with terrain tools. I always forget they exist, and then I'm like, oh, right. When I see other people use them, and I think they're really cool, and I think when other people use them, the builds just look amazing. And so I figured, you know what, this time I'm not going to forget that the terrain tool exists. I'm going to use it, and I don't really do that much with it. I just raise this second level up, and then there's the house is built on that second level, so it just kind of gives a lot a bit more depth, I guess is the word. Verticality, maybe. I'm not quite sure exactly what the word would be, but you know what I mean. Anyway, also I should say this before we get too far along. This build is going to come in two parts. There's this part, and then there's the other part. It's not exactly like I do all the exterior and then I do all the furnishing inside. It's just kind of, this is a good place to split it. So that is what I did. Because I did take a short break. It wasn't like a break, it was more so a I need to go to the bathroom sort of break. And so that is what I did. And I have a really hard time taking breaks while building. I really like to just see the whole thing done all at once, all in one sitting, and then just be done with it and not have to worry about it. And oh, I got distracted here. I was watching a video and the video ended, I believe is what happened. There were a few times where I get distracted, but I thought I cut all of them out. I suppose I missed that one. But yeah. Also, another disclaimer, if you happen to hear a bell or any meowing in the background, there's a cat in my room. I think he's asleep right now, so it should be okay. Anyway, so this mansion, it's kind of a small mansion in terms of bedrooms and size. There's only one bedroom and there's two bathrooms, but it's not really meant for a family. It's more so meant for one sim or maybe two sims who like to party. And so there's a pool that's going to go in, and I figure the kind of party that gets thrown here are a bunch of really extravagant pool parties. And so, you're gonna see the pool get bigger because I figured that pool was a little too small for, said pool parties. Anyway, you're gonna start seeing me rough out the general shape of the house, and there's a lot of balcony room, and then I also put in a lot of windows. And while I was building this, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if, we could have continuous windows. I know there's custom content that allows for that, and it's just essentially windows, but then at the ends, they don't have panes. They just keep going, and then they connect perfectly with the next window. And I was like, I wish those were part of the game and I didn't have to go download those, because I don't really use that much build custom content. There's no custom content in really any of my builds on my channel. I figure if I was going to use custom content, I'd want the entire build to be custom content and not just one room. So I was having a hard time with this pool. It wouldn't let me build right up against the pool, so I had to move the pool around and make it work. Anyway, so yeah, transparent windows would be cool. I figure they'd be kind of hard to make if it was just a wallpaper, kind of like how we don't just have transparent floors. But, it'd be nice if it was just a seamless window. It's really what I'm looking for. And that is one of the few build custom content things that I have downloaded in the past. I don't have it in right now just because I don't know why actually. Why did I get rid of it? I think I forgot what it was, and there was a time where I didn't want to have any build custom content because I was getting the problem where all my builds were getting marked as having custom content even if they didn't. And I fix that usually by just turning off my mods when I build. I find that that's really the most, the most streamlined way to make sure that you don't get flagged for mods and whatnot. So yeah, I usually just have them off. Anyway, I'm working on the balcony space. There's that separate room up top. That's actually where I put the hot tub because I figured it would be kind of inconvenient to have it be a bathroom or a bedroom or really anything important because you have to go outside to get there, and if it's raining, because it rains a decent amount in Del Sol Valley from what I remember. I had a sim live there earlier this year because I got Get Famous and Seasons at the same time, and so I had a sim, and I very much like that sim. She lived in San Myshuno for a long time. Maybe I'll show her off sometime. Anyway, so we are continuing. I'm putting in a ton of windows. This is what I was talking about earlier, and I kind of have a hard time with up above the door there. Like you'll see me put in those get 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 together. I went through like all the get packs. So yeah, they're from Get Together, and I thought they looked okay at first, but then I looked again and I'm like, that's kind of plain. And so I ended up changing it to a balcony area. It's a very small balcony. You'll see me do it here in a second. Anyway, this house is very white. Like there's not really any other colors other than the white, and I wanted it to be that way. I wanted it to look very clean and very crisp. And whenever I add in like a colorful accent wall, I always look back at it and I'm like, why did I do that? So I figured I wouldn't, do anything like that. I could have done like a stone accent wall, but I felt like that just didn't match. Inside it's also pretty neutral, although it's not like all white. The walls are gray, and then I use like these really light floorboards. You'll see when we get there. I don't know if we get there in this part. I don't remember how far we go because I really jumped around a bunch in this whatever it's called, a build. It's a build, a speed build. There we go. So yeah, there I was turning on move objects on because it wouldn't let me like intersect the big window and I didn't want to have to change my windows. Anyway, back here I figured I'd add in a staircase. I thought it'd be nice to have some sort of outside entrance, if I could talk, outside entrance to the top floor of the balcony. And while it might have made more sense to have it over by the pool, I really liked it back here. I ended up putting a door back here and like the trash back here. And so it's just kind of like a back door area. So I thought that was cool. Anyway, so yeah, I struggled with this for a while. I just like figuring out exactly what to put back here because like when I put in those half walls, it got rid of like the top of the railing, so I had to use a fence. I would have preferred to use the half walls, but it was fine. And I thought it was cool that those glowed. Like in some builds, it's like, oh, it's the worst that they glow, but in this one, I thought it was okay. After all, if you're living here, you're probably pretty rich. I don't know how much this house ended up being worth. Probably a lot. I mean, I don't really like go out of my way to make it super expensive, but also like it's not really a bunch of like extravagant furniture inside. So, I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, here you're gonna see me painting the white drywall white, which let me tell you is so hard to do. I always miss one section and it's always just normal drywall and I don't even notice. So if you see anything like that, just don't let me know because then I'll be upset because I thought I got it all. I thought I was really close. Um, so yeah, hopefully it's all painted. I do catch somewhere that I missed later on. I forget where. I want to say it's somewhere on the roof. Anyway, here I am fixing up the front so that it's a little bit more interesting than just, a bunch of windows. And I wanted to use these glowy pillars, but then the pillars wouldn't glow right away because I think my game was starting to lag at this point. And so it takes a while. I struggle so much with these glass roofs. I'm like, how does it work again? And so it takes me a minute to really figure this out. And eventually I do. And I'm like, oh, there we go. And yeah, and then I do another one over this little section here. And as I said before, this is the like where a hot tub goes because I really didn't know what else to put in there. There's so many windows, it'd be weird for it to be a bathroom. And it's kind of small for a bedroom, especially, if you're living in a mansion, you want a decent sized bedroom, I figure. And so I was like, hot tub room. And so that's what it was. And then I guess another reason this house ends up being kind of small in terms of what's actually inside it is I cut out a lot of that top floor to look down into the bottom floor because I thought it looked really cool to just have that full uninterrupted wall of windows. And so I guess that's more so why I was asking for the transparent wallpaper I don't see how you would get a full wall of windows unless that was the case, unless they added in windows that were like they didn't have the top edge on them either. I don't know, it'd be cool. I really, really like that kind of window. Oh, here. Um, there's the infinity pool look, but I'm not entirely for it, especially since you can't just make like the wall of the pool be glass. And so I figured I'd add in some windows around it to kind of give it a railing. And I don't know, I guess I thought it looked cool. It's kind of weird that it doesn't go all the way around the entire foundation, but I figured that'd be, one, a lot of work, and two, would maybe look a bit weird. So I just put it around the edge of the pool there. I don't know exactly if there's a reason for it, but you know, there doesn't have to be a reason. So yeah, I messed with the pool for a while here. I'm just trying to make it look unique. I don't want it to just be, the normal, pool look. So I go through, I try making it super dark, and I was like, eh. And then I was like, no, I just want it to be as blue as possible. And so I add in the bluest things I can think of, and you get that really, really blue look. And I thought that looked really cool. I am so bothered by these lots. There's like patches of dead grass on them, and I'm like, my sim, if they live here, is ridiculously rich. Their lawn would be perfectly manicured, there would be no dead patches. I don't care how dry and dead, Del Sol Valley is. My Sim's lawn would be perfect. And so I tried to fix it with some train paint, but none of the train paint exactly matches up, and so I was like, ah. And I kind of just end up covering it up with one of these garden patches, which you're going to see me make, and I'm pretty proud of these. They add a little bit of color to the exterior since it's all just so white. I end up using orange flowers, the orange lava flowers, orange volcano flowers, I forget exactly what they're called, but I add those in, and then I use those floor tiles, if you know what I mean, and I used the orange ones, and I was like, yeah, this looks cool. And so, yeah, you'll see me pull those together. There's 4 of them throughout the lot, 2 in the front, 1 right here, and then 1 in the back. And so there's the floor tiles I was talking about. I I don't know what else to call them. I guess they're kind of like a flat flower. I don't know. I think floor tiles makes the most sense. And I sized them up so that they wouldn't take forever and you'd be able to see them a bit easier. Back here, I kind of struggle trying to figure out exactly how big I want the flower box to be, and I go with this size right here. And yeah, so you're going to see me go through making flower beds for a minute here, and that brings us back to the inside area and talking about that, because like thinking about it, I was having a really hard time with lighting, and I'm not sure why. Like, no matter how many lights I added in, this one corner would stay dark, which you'll see me get to in the next part. But I don't know, do you ever have that problem where it's just the lights won't work? I tried to restart my game and it's still was kind of weird, but I was like, it's better, I guess. So yeah, just let me know if you ever have that problem. And then here's the front flower beds. I'm really happy with this build, I'd say. I wish it had a bit more bedrooms and whatnot inside. I feel like the inside's kind of small and simple, but I'm really happy with the exterior. I think it looks really clean and really, really cool. And I really like these simple mansions, or simple color palettes and simple, very clean look. You know, I joke all the time. My favorite color is gray when building, but when not building, I quite like green. And so, I really just I'm such a big fan of neutrals, and it's it's kind of weird because it'd be nice to have colorful builds and be like, oh, that looks nice, but when I'm building, I'm like, I want it to be gray, and then I always make it not gray, and I'm like, why did I do that? And so yeah, maybe next time I'll really focus on making something gray so that I can see if gray is actually a good thing or if it's just me being like, ah, gray. Because I don't think I actually build with gray that often, and part of the issue is that The Sims doesn't come with very many different gray tones, and if your grays don't match, it doesn't look as good. So there's that. That was a tangent. Anyway, I'm adding in lights, and we're getting close to the end. I tried to use some other lights, but in the end I ended up just going with the subtle saucer lights. I thought that they did the best job lighting everything up, and I'm very careful to try to get them underneath the roof and underneath the balconies so that they don't poke through. And I think this lot's pretty well lit at night. I end up adding in more outdoor lights because I'm like, it's so dark. But I don't know if I do that this part or the next part. I do it the next part. So here we are, we're coming to the end of the video. Leave a like, remember to subscribe, and go get some sunshine. I'll see you next time.